Hi, beautiful souls. So, I have a recap on this healing of this motherly aspect. What did I freaking word it? I don't remember what I worded it, and it'll come to me when this video is over. But I shared with you guys about a time when I was doing breath work and having a breath experience, and it was me lying in a fetal position crying. I was angry with my birth mom and angry with myself for choosing her as my birth mom, but also coming on the other side of that and trusting and knowing that this is and has been for my divine growth, for what I need to have my lessons and grow in, and yada yada yada. Like, I chose her as my birth mom, and I knew that there's wounding there, and I knew that it would come up. I mean, I've been around this work. I just know that, and I've never pressured myself to fix anything. It's definitely a touchier subject that I don't really typically like diving into. But I've learned that avoiding this wound and avoiding the healing that wants to take place isn't helping either. So I've taught myself over various opportunities to just surrender and see what comes up. Well, I find myself maybe sounding like Susan, maybe in the way that she giggles. Did I mention that Susan is my birth mom? I apologize. I do not have a relationship with her, and this is more along that healing journey to heal those wounds. And so I find myself maybe looking like her, laughing like her, parenting like her. Just, she shows up. I'm a part of her. And she shows up, and I don't like it. Like, the initial thing is I don't like it, and to get out of me, because I don't have a relationship with her and I don't want to be like her. And so today on my walk, which then turned into a walking prayer meditation, I giggled and I sounded like her. And that immediately brought up this conversation that I had with myself and with my spiritual team and my guidance. And it went something like this. Um, I don't know what this means and why she stops me in my tracks, but I am open to healing this part of me, and I am open to receiving that next step. I don't know how to heal this. I don't know what the next step is, but I'm open to receiving that next step. And then I would hear like conversations, and so I just speak out loud, and one of the questions was, do you love her? And initially it's like, well, I think I'm taught to love her. I think I'm taught to um socially accept her as my mother, and that's just the right thing to do, right? She gave birth to me, she brought me into this world. But I really paused and allowed myself to be in that I don't know state of really taking that question in. Do I love Susan? Do I love her? And again, what comes up is I love her for bringing me in this world. But I feel like there's something that goes deeper in there. And then there's the do you forgive? Do you forgive her? And the initial response is no, I don't forgive what she's done and how she's been and any of that. And then having a long conversation with myself to dive in a little bit deeper and to discover and shed some light on, well, how come I don't forgive her? And I think that, and I feel that um, it would be easier. First of all, I know that forgiveness doesn't necessarily have to be to forgive her. I know that it's more about setting myself free. It's about having myself feel good. I get that 100%. But there still is that part of me that is like, well, I think it would be easier to forgive if she would take responsibility and ownership for what she's done and said, or not done and said. And I feel like then that forgiveness is like, okay, like I truly can forgive her because she knows what she did. Whether that's right or wrong in my eyes, she faces up to whatever it is. And maybe I'm more willing to forgive her at that point, right? Like honestly, like do you have someone that you would like to have or just heal the relationship with someone in your family? And maybe you have a relationship with them, but there's resentment, there's anger, there's whatever that's sitting there. Wouldn't you want to heal that and get rid of that? But wouldn't it also, doesn't that forgiveness seem a little bit more plausible when they've stood up and said, "Oh my gosh, I am so sorry for what I did. I'm so sorry for what I said." Yada yada. Yeah, they take ownership in that. And then I think about, okay, well, what is this? What is this? And it's like, oh yeah, I'm maybe the forgiveness is more towards myself, forgiving the fact that I've resented forgiving myself that I've hung on to this anger, forgiving myself that I am confused about the whole situation, forgive myself for, forgive myself. And then I was like, oh yeah, that, oh, there's so much peace there. There's so much peace there. That again, I knew that forgiving her doesn't have to be for her. It's for me. And this whole conversation and this whole meditative walk that I just did showed to me my very first words after I recognized Susan in my laugh was, I am open to receiving any healing that comes, and I may not know the steps and I may not know what action to take, but I am open and I am willing to show up. And then the conversation happened. And I literally walk into my house feeling like I don't know what all just happened energetically and cosmically in my body and in my DNA and in my cells. I don't know all that's happened, but I trust that that conversation is exactly what I needed to have at that exact time. And I feel that as Susan shows up, because she will, I am a part of her, she will show up, that I can begin to heal even deeper in the sense of loving her and forgiving her because she didn't have the tools to understand her emotions. And if she did, she didn't practice it. And I can love her and forgive her as she shows up in me, also reminding myself that I am my own person. I am Cheryl. I am my own person, and I am very aware of and becoming more aware as my journey of enlightenment and awakening happens every single day. That I get to choose how I want to parent. I get to choose how I want to be in my emotions and feel my emotions or not, but I'm choosing to. And those are very different characteristics than what Susan showed and displayed. So this our healing journeys aren't one step and they're done. They show up all the time. Maybe not even in order. Like I want to work with my inner child and this wounding and I want to feel better, but it's like maybe that's not the best integration that I need. Maybe this conversation was exactly what I needed to then every time again she shows up and I catch that awareness of Susan within myself, that I can just send extra love to myself for me being um open to be the best person that I can be, which means to look at my behaviors and my thought patterns and my words and how they are to myself and how they are to other people. And to forgive her for, maybe not having the tools and to being who she is. Healing is such an interesting path, but it doesn't always have to be painful. And this conversation that I had with myself was not painful at all. There were so many little nuggets in there that are actually big nuggets that are like these aha moments and this like, oh yeah, I can free myself, and oh yeah, I don't have to hate myself for being a part of her for who she is, but I can still love myself and love her with respect, but even far away if I choose to. Because hating her isn't going to hating her is still that resentment and that anger and that frustration and that how could you type thing, that victim, right? I'm victimizing myself. But when I come from a place of love and heart and forgiveness, I forgive myself for ever harboring those feelings, and I forgive myself for ever judging myself as Susan shows up it through me. And as I give myself love and compassion, then I'm still able to carry out that love and compassion to her in whatever capacity I'm willing and able to do, which then dissolves these shackles. It dissolves this pain. It dissolves this hurt inside. Whereas then the love can mend my heart, and the love can mend even it can mend and make me more aware of my actions. Like as I'm parenting, do I want to parent like her? No. No. There were some great things and not great things. I don't want to be the not great things. And as I make those mistakes in my own parenting, then I can have compassion for myself and be like, oh, yeah, I don't like that, because that's what I felt like as a child is XYZ. And I don't want my children to feel unsafe or unloved or unwanted. And so loving and having compassion and having an open heart, I think that's what this conversation just deepened and just expanded, that my heart chakra, my heart feel okay with me um being aware of her showing up. I'm sure there's going to be way more, and there was already way more in the conversation that I just can't remember right now. But truly, I think that sometimes we think that healing is opening that Pandora box and all the pain that it's brought us and all the frustration and resentment and confusion and feeling stuck and not wanting to go there, not wanting to feel, and not wanting to um, witness what is showing up now within us in relation to XYZ, that healing. But I hope that this sheds a little bit of light maybe on your journey. Maybe it's not even with a parent, but maybe it's something totally else that you like, man, I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole of healing. I really don't want to do that. But what if you got to be, as I said before, what if you got to be the owl in the tree with all the wisdom, and you get to watch and you get to be the compassionate, loving animal to your healing journey. And it doesn't always have to be so painful. It might, it definitely might, but it doesn't always have to be. And I think that if you're avoiding any healing any steps because you're confused and you're not knowing how it's going to happen or what you need to do. I think if you just surrender and just trust yourself that you're equipped to provide yourself with whatever you need, and it may be simple, it may take 2 minutes, it may be not, and it may take 2 days, and it may take your energy, and it may suck you dry of your energy. But again, if you have compassion for yourself and you open up that heart and try to keep that heart open as much as possible during these moments, then your heart's just going to fill up and expand more with love. Just be very compassionate with yourself and give yourself that like time to rest or time to play or whatever it is. And don't be like me where I used to just been like, I want to heal, and I just want to be on this healing journey and I want to get it over with and I'm just going to spend all my time here. That's not how we are really designed. And the best thing that I think and that I've experienced, because I've been heavy on that side of healing and that heavy of like, I just want to feel better, right? But you have to do parts in this healing aspect in that corner of your life where you're just like diving into the education, the experiences, everything that you need. And then you also need to do real life and show up for your responsibilities and play, because during that's the integration. You learn all this stuff, you get all these downloads, you take actions on what you need to do, you receive all that you need to do, and then now what? Ooh, let that settle. Let that settle in before you keep piling on more education and more things. Let that settle in. Go back to real life. Well, it's all real, but go back to, things that you need to do. Maybe you need to do chores around the house. Maybe you need to show up for a job or career. You have children. Maybe you have some projects that you want to do, and show up for fun. Have you ever noticed that when things can be somewhat heavy, or I notice this a lot with business. Like sometimes we can be so creative with business, and I might be digressing, but if I haven't lost you yet, thank you, because I know this is going to be good too. But in business, so we may be striving for like a goal or a percentage or a dollar amount or whatever it is, right? And we might be stressing, it's becoming the end of the month, the quarter, whatever. And we're like, oh, we're so stressed out, we want to just meet that, it's really important to us. Have you ever noticed that when you go out and play, that that client orders more, or you get another client, or your bank account just increased, or whatever, right? Whatever, something positive happens to your business and your world, and it's because you're not stressed out about meeting that energy that you hold shifts, and you become more open to receive, and now you're playing and you're not stressing about it and you're loving life. It's the same with healing. It's the same with that. We've got to have those integration periods where we allow that all that information to settle into our DNA and settle into our bodies, so that we then feel safe stepping into more of the healing, and feel safe stepping into more of the opportunities that are showing up, and trusting life. Trust life. Okay, that was a lot, and I hope you've got something out of it. If you have any comments or questions, I would love, love, love to hear and commune with you and create with you and be a support system to you, and anything. So if there's any questions or comments, please share or DM me, like this video. Much love to you, my friends. Much love, much love.